Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. I am thrilled you're here with me on September 27th, 2020. Do me a favor, type in where you're joining in from because I'm always interested around the world where my message lands. I know last week we had several thousand of you all the way from the Middle East to Asia, Africa. I think we had pretty much everything but Antarctica. So it's always exciting to figure out different platforms and who resonates with my content. So thanks. I thought I would. Hey, Heather, glad you're first from Maryland. Nicole, early from Denver. I guess I should say I'm glad that we didn't have snow like you did Denver a couple of weeks ago, Nicole. It got pretty cold. It was like 35 recently, but had to bring a lot of plants in. Nicaragua in the house. Hey, Lydia, thanks for joining me this morning. Tristan, glad you're here this morning. So I thought I would just start off with a quick story about customer service. You know, so many people as a motivational speaker and as a writer and a blogger, et cetera, a lot of people come to me for customer service. And man, there's an awful lot of old saws out there that people use as examples. You know, one of the biggest that I saw the other day was this guy was talking about his time with Nordstrom. And, you know, that time that the guy came in with a set of tires and an employee gave him $25 back. That really happened in Alaska. Well, if you actually check into it, not really, because they try to say, oh, well, it used to be a store that sold tires and they just didn't notice it was a Nordstrom. Like, really? Like, you didn't walk in, you just rolled these tires into a full department store and asked for your money back and didn't realize that, oh, it's not a tire store. So there's those kind of customer service stores. And then on the other side are those ones that want to tell us that the customer is always right. The customer is always right. Well, the customer is always the customer, but they're not always right. And so this guy told me about a story. He's in a major city in the US where mask protocol is, I don't know if it's necessarily required by the local government, but it certainly is what most people are doing. And they're having to require people to wait out on the sidewalk. And I'm sure that's several of you as well. And a quick sidebar, there is a great retail store in London who took the opportunity to use this and put out folding chairs in a line so people who had to wait could actually talk to people. You know what? People think that's like the best part of the visit. So consider that your free sidebar tip today. But in any event, they have to make people wait. And so this guy and his family of 5 or 6 had to wait until they got in. And so the protocol is that they would be greeted at the front. This is how it works in our store. Please wear a mask, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the guy barges through and, you know, kind of is really gruff and treats the staff badly. And the question was, you know, do I have to put up with this? And I say, I never put up with somebody swearing or treating my staff belligerently. Now, there can be a level of opinion on what they are. But here's what I want you to take from that is that person that walked in, you don't know who you are in their life today at 3:05 on a Sunday afternoon. They just got out of traffic. Well, probably not traffic necessarily, but the kids are treating them badly. Their sports team lost. They've got a toothache. There is a million things that go on when people work in retail and go shopping. And we just have to remind ourselves, you know, a lot of times it's about their life, not ours. In fact, there's times that I'll get haters, and I always kind of wonder, like, who am I in your life? Am I the unforgiving aunt? Am I the manager who you had that whatever? I'm not going to own all of that baggage. So, but I do say that when you're looking at customer service and you're trying to figure out what's the right thing to do, because there are a lot of situations around masks right now, and I don't have the perfect answer. I don't think anyone has the perfect answer. But just ask yourself, is there even 2% truth to what they said or did to me? Is there something about the way that they felt that I didn't really pay attention to? And if there is, that might give you some way to change, right? And to grow and to say, oh, well, maybe if we don't say it that way, we do it this way, or maybe it's this, but also acknowledging that, you know, I was just the wrong person at the wrong time in that guy's life. And that's okay. But also, I've also had people who will approach me with these. In fact, you've been here for over 3 years on my Facebook channel, LinkedIn channel, YouTube channel. And you've probably seen people ask me questions about one-off customer service. And this would be a perfect example. What do I do then? Well, you can't train that, right? When you get down to it, if you have to go down and try to say to every one of your employees, okay, if a guy says this and he does this and they do this and they do this, then we do this. You've made a game plan for us against them. And I don't think that makes you money. So my point to you today is you can't train one-offs. You train big things you can do, like how do we engage somebody? How do we build rapport? Those you can talk about. But when you get really down to those one-offs, be careful, because you're going to put that lens where everybody is looking through it. Like when people talk about shoplifting, like, hey, we want to really watch those people that walk in like that, or they've got a box or a bag or something like that. And yeah, that's part of it, but make sure it doesn't become the focus, because I think that's when I see a lot of businesses just spiral down, because it becomes us versus them. And we don't need that. We got enough other reasons people are feeling like it's us versus them. So let me know if that makes sense to you. You can type in, let me know what your thoughts are. That would be great. Mr. Tim joining me from Australia. Dude, you are like the bomb. Tim has been with us on Sales RX now for almost 6 weeks. And we've been having the comeback sprint where we are working with our Sales RX group. And he's there on every call at 11 a.m. And that's 1 a.m. tomorrow for him. And I just love it. So thanks, Tim. I just want to say a little shout out there. I'm going to quickly look up. There's so many of you on board this morning. That's great. Don't forget, I definitely need some love, and I definitely need thumbs up. And if you're on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, that means applause, because otherwise I don't get to show to as many people. For some reason now, when I put up my Saturday post, I need your questions. The social media algorithms are not sharing it as much, so many of you don't see it. So you might say, why are you having trouble with questions? Because what's engaging is video, not in text. So there you go. Oslo, Norway in the house today. Fabulous. LinkedIn user from Indiana, all the way from Indiana. That's great. Travis, good morning from South Carolina. I'm glad you're here. Kurdistan, Dashti, thank you for joining in. Savas from Turkey. Tamara from Belfast, fabulous. My goodness, I can't get through you all. Styling with Stacy, just north of me here in New York. Yes, you have the opportunity to be the high point of somebody's day. That is the important thing. That's why I do this, is to remember that it's our gifts of what we've learned in talking to people that we share with other people, and we actually make the world a better place, instead of joining in the, you're an idiot and I hate you because you clicked a link that I don't agree with. So there you go. All right, well, let's get to your questions, because that's always what makes it interesting for all of you who are watching, and I definitely appreciate you being here today. So our top fan, Gail is asking me, we have several new employees, need to get them signed up for training. That's right, Gail, absolutely. So what do you need to do? Send me an email, bob@retaildoc.com. Top fan Roberta asked me, our manager wants to promote early holiday shopping. It's not even October, and it makes me itchy to think about that. Roberta, get some itch cream and get over yourself. Roberta is here a lot, so she won't take it personally. And I know that my style can be a little blunt for some people, and make no mistake, I am here to help, not hurt. And I'm not here to shut anyone down, but I've been doing this for 30 years, so I definitely have opinions. And Roberta, right now, you are late to the game if Christmas stuff isn't out right now. Yes, I said that you're late to the game. And we famously call this the bitch and buy season. You know what that is? You put out a Christmas holiday, Hanukkah, whatever, Kwanzaa, whatever it's going to be, whatever holiday or holidays merchandise you have. You might have it in the back of the store right now, which is where I would put it. I wouldn't have it at the very front, but somebody will walk by and they'll say to you, or you'll hear them say, I can't believe they have Christmas already. Can you believe it? Oh my God, they've already got Christmas. I have to take a picture. Can you believe they actually have? Okay, got it. That's the bitch. And then at the register, I'll take 2 of those. Yeah, it's called the bitch and buy. That simple. So to your question, Roberta, it's already past it. Grandmothers like to be prepared, and they're looking for ideas already. So you should have that out. I say this every season. I will say it again. It's always holidays before Halloween. So there you go. Styling, I'll take 2. That's exactly right. Tristan, Christmas selling as well for us. Of course it is, because that's it. The bitch and buy, Stacy. Let's go. They want the holiday. You better believe it. Anybody not want the holidays? I had to laugh. I get an awful lot of press releases, and I got one last week that said not something crazy like 75% of Gen Z and millennials don't want to buy anything for other people for holiday. They're only thinking themselves. And I was like, really? Who believes this? I think we're going to have a great holiday season. I think we're on the cusp of a new hedonism. I think people are going to treat themselves and say, you know what? I could die tomorrow because I went to a sporting event, or I got my takeout, or whatever it's going to be. I'm going to live for today. And I think that's healthy for retail. So be careful that you don't end up bringing your own prejudices to it, Roberta. Get over it. What is it called again? Everybody put it in the comments below. What's it called, baby? What's it called, baby? Put it in there in the comments. I'm watching. Type it in. What's it say? What's it say? It's called the... Yep, put it in there. I'm waiting. And we know our bitches and buys. All right. Agreed. That's right, Alex. Thanks very much. You're getting up early this morning out there in Washington State. So good. Hope the fires are finally letting up. All right, Judy from Paper Dolls. I'm going to do something I haven't been able to do before. Again, those of you who know me, I have been trying out new digital tools because I'm no longer a public speaker who gets on a plane and goes around the world. I have to do it from my office, my home office. Now they're typing it in. Thanks for that, Dina. There you go. Yeah, Jonah's Q4 is going to be huge. I totally believe it. So Judy from Paper Dolls says, now that people can get out and shop, I see that my once a week live videos are losing steam. My sales are still up, but viewership is down a bit. I know that I have to change things up. Any suggestions? So Judy, I hear you, and I'm going to show you some examples here this morning on the screen. So there you go. Jason, you can't even write bitch and buy? Seriously, dude. I can guarantee you, your customers know that word and say that word much. So let's just start off by taking a look at, let's go here. Let's take a look. Oh, I guess I got to make that bigger. So this is Judy's. These are your videos. And if those of you who don't know that, you can go into your Facebook page and you can, I'm trying to make that a little bigger, but I think you could see that all right, can't you? There you go. You can see all your videos in one place. And when I did this morning, Judy, just before I got on, which, by the way, when you actually give me, I guess I should change it so you can actually see me here. When you actually give me the questions in advance, I can actually prepare and give you something new and different each week. And this is a perfect example. So, Judy, you go in and take a look at your videos. And for all of you, I want you to do this as well. Go in and look at the videos that you posted in the last month or whatever. And Judy, this is exactly what yours shows me. Do you know what I notice immediately from this? Anybody? Do you want to put it in there? Anybody want to put it in there? Anybody? Anybody? What do you notice? Put it in the comments. Come on, come on. What do you put it in there? What do you put? What do you notice? What's the one thing you notice? Anybody? No, we've already moved on past bitch and buy. What's one thing that you notice about that? Type it in. I know, be quick. Tammy, I'll get to that lady. Alex, no faces. Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't even got that one first, Alex. What else? Faces, no people. Good, good, good. Viewers are going down. Good, good, good. But there's a much, oh, you got it. Wait. There's Tristan. Tristan, generally the same. Exactly. The titles revive. The titles are all the same. That's a big deal. So I'm going to give you some examples here of, so that's, by the way, even if this is yours, which it is, Judy, you can go in and change these immediately. Give them a title and give them a subject line. And I watched one of them. It's like, oh, here's one of my favorite things. I think it was your makeup mirror or something. But that's not gonna stand out, right? So you want to make sure that you give something different. So this is, remind me, this is Pins and Needles, I think. So you can see that they've got some good ideas. Look here at Deb's cape. She's going to be here in November. I think that's a great way to do it for an event. I love that. Check out the new foot coming for the Surgers. That's great. Also, this is one from Months Audio, which I thought was really awful, really great, not awful, is a Rockford Fosgate Harley speaker waterproof. That's going to answer your questions for people who own Harleys, right? Why scrape your windshield? Oh, I would click on that. What is it? Do you want to buy a coaxial speaker or another component? Notice how they're all different, but they also answer people, and that gets them interested. And another one that I really like is Proven Winners, and you should follow them because I think they do a great example. An autumn container for southern gardens, how to pressing flowers, create a fall wreath. Notice how they stick out. That's ultimately, they're going to be able to be stick out in their mind, and more importantly, people are going to tune in. So that is my quick suggestion for you, Judy. There's many other ones that I could end up doing as well, but this is the one that I see so many retailers and small businesses, all right, that's enough of that, doing, because they haven't been taught. And that's one really easy way that you can do that. So there you go. You all see that. Looks like my mother's old picture's head's cropped off. Well, again, part of that is the function of changing the thumbnail, and that's a whole nother time that we have to go through. And revive clickbait titles, you better believe it. It's like my newsletter this week. I'm taking a post which is on my blog, which I wouldn't call something like my initial thought was like how to grab shoppers by the neck and get them to walk in your store. Well, I can't put that on a blog post, but on a newsletter that would work. And if I was doing a live video, that might work as well. I wouldn't say grab by the throat in this day and age. I would massage it, but you get the idea that I've got to get your attention. And so a compelling headline is the key to all of that. Yeah, Nicole, I have seen a comment sold. It is interesting. I haven't had experience with people using it. I've got a couple of people ask me about that last week, so I'll be curious to see what they come up with as well. Annie's Unique Boutique says, any thoughts on creative ways to get customers actually come in the store? Since being able to open back up to customers early in June, sales were up over 2019 through August, September falling off the table. We can't sell them without coming through the door. We've had a total of 15 since Monday this week. Well, that's always distressing, Annie, but you have to start off with the fact that they will be back. I know that in the Northeast, we have had huge swings in temperatures. And when I was in the coffee business, one of the things that we knew, and I was in Southern California, so every day is perfect in Southern California and Long Beach, right? 72 degrees during the day, it's 68 at night. It's all great until the day it rains. The day it rains, no one goes out. It's like, oh my God, this is horrible. But if it's going to rain for 2 or 3 days, you know what? Next day they start coming back. And that big change, and even if it's been raining for a long time and suddenly it gets clear, that first day, nobody's coming. The next day, man, they're all back to normal. So understand that in times when weather changes, that's it. And also just be gentle with yourself. You know, at the end of the day, you don't know where you fit into your customer's life. So you want them to come in. Just start off with, what are you putting out on social media? It's all about come into my store and being desperate, because the day that you have dollar signs in your eyes, we can see it and we feel it. You know, hey, everybody, I'm down here at the store. There's nobody in here, but we just got this widget in and it's really good and it's 20% off. Stop. I don't want to come. Be of service now to sell later. Understand what people are searching for. Help them with that. 3 ways that you can moisturize your skin without spending a fortune. And yeah, if you happen to have one of those 3 as your moisturizer, great. But it's not the time to just keep pummeling like your QVC. I've seen too many Facebook Lives where, yeah, I get it. It works for a certain amount, but at some point you're really just, you know, servicing termites. You're doing the same thing for everybody, and it's not growing your group. So I hope that helps, Annie. I would always default to find out what you're putting out on social media, because that's it. If you don't have a newsletter, it should go out every week. And especially now through the end of the year, and have something creative instead of, oh, and this week only, 20% only. There you go. Let's go through your questions. Any questions here? Ready? Places to look for recruiting high caliber staff. Jason, the #1 place always to me is Facebook. You can go through and target your competitors and say, hey, you want a better job with us? You can target by zip code. You just have to make sure you understand how that all works. And someday I'll talk more about how you advertise on Facebook, but that's not so much today. Revive, I did a tiger. I'll show you all that. I did a tiger theme Tiger King thing live Facebook sale. My customers still talk about it 3 months later. That's great. I love the way that one of my podcast guests, I am so in the moment, I'm not remembering your name. But she had done one when The Greatest Showman came out. She had an event, a shopping event, and you provide the DVD of The Greatest Showman, and they dressed up and everything. Everybody loves to tell me, oh, events are dead, or we don't. Find a way to do something virtually. Find a way to engage in a new way. And that's what we're all being called to do. That's exactly what I'm doing here today, right? So I hope that helps. Judy, be of service now for selling. You better believe it. Oh, I'm glad you like the backdrop. Thanks, Nancy. Whole story about that picture behind me. If you want to hang out at the end and you all want to know, that's great. By the way, we're at 20 minutes, which means I don't think I've gotten enough love. I don't think I've gotten enough likes, and I don't know if I've gotten thank you. Make sure that you do that, and comments always help for us. That's the other goal, Judy. Not Judy. Is it Judy? Annie's. The other thing about Facebook Lives, if you're not getting comments, if you're not getting people to join in and ask you things, thumbs up isn't really it. It's about getting comments, because that's what Facebook is looking at, is engagement. How much of what you say is getting people to react and talk to you? That's the gold standard. Just getting thumbs up and then posting and then putting money to get more thumbs up, that's not going to make you money. What makes you money is getting that engagement, so it's shown to more people. So when you take out an ad, it's cheaper, but more importantly, that you have a landing page or some way that you can go through and track their clicks, and then you can actually remarket to them later. But that's a whole much bigger than I can talk to you about this morning. John says, what are your thoughts on commissions? I've never been a fan, but some colleagues speak highly of them. I don't know what you sell, John, but I'm a big believer on performance bonuses. I know I'm working with a luxury brand right now that is moving from a group bonus to individual bonuses. So whether you call it commissions or bonuses, what they are finding is that the best are leading sales, and they're finally seeing who the best are, and the laggards are upset at the system because it's unfair, and they just keep coming up with more reasons why they can't, and she's and he's and I'm, poor little me. And they're kind of realizing like, oh, maybe we have a flaw in who we've been rewarding because we haven't really seen who gives it. So I am a big believer, John, in commissions. What that usually comes down to is setting a goal, and if you go over that goal, you get X amount, and you can play with that. Especially if you're just starting out in commissions or bonuses, don't make them long. If you just set them for a week, that's a great way to start. A month is a most, and then you need to pay it right away. Don't make somebody wait, because a high earner like me, as soon as I hit the 30th of the month on October 1st, I'm looking, where is my check? So there you go. And I get that voice, apparently. All right. Danny says, we own a vintage market with about 400 spaces. We rent to 200 vendors. I know we can do better on our staff on selling. The challenge is most of the merchandise is one of a kind, and there's thousands of different items that literally changes daily anytime a vendor comes in to work on their space. Danny, so let's just take that idea off the table. I don't give a damn that they're all one-offs. I don't give a damn if there's 100 of them. It makes no difference, right? So let's just remove that, because I think particularly when the vendor's like, oh, but we're different, we're special. No, you aren't. Your merch is just merch. I'm sorry, it's just merch. It's a block of wood for all I care. And somebody could buy a block of wood, or they could buy a pen, or they could buy a Post-it note. It doesn't matter. What matters is how do they feel when they're actually in that store. So there you go. So literally every purchase is different. So there's no people who buy this tend to buy this. Actually, there totally is, but that's another discussion. Or most popular items are clear opportunities for upselling. Clear opportunities are quite simply, you have Amazon in a store, right? You have 200 vendors, which means you probably have, 20,000 SKUs. Why don't you have people who buy this also buy this? If I'm buying chickens, I don't have a chicken picture. If I had a chicken picture, safe to bet that there's a country kitchen somewhere in there. There's probably chicken dinnerware. There's probably all kinds of mugs about starting the day with a rooster or chicken. There's a million ways we could do it. But if your scope is, but we can't, I think it makes it really hard. So your final question to me is, what recommendations do you have for how to train our staff to sell more? Danny, you're not on salesrx.com. If you were, I could tell you that we've already got that solved. There's 120 lessons in SalesRx on how do I engage a customer, how do I get them to lower their guard, to not trust strangers, because what we all taught since we were 3 years old, don't talk to strangers. There's a system you have to use to get people over that. And it's not something you just tell people. You actually have to have them work it, meaning, I can tell you what to do, but that's like getting an ingredient list for how to make cinnamon rolls. Unless you got the recipe, it doesn't make any difference. The recipe is where you pay the money, and that's where I come in. But ultimately, you've got to get them to take it today and not want to wait. And if you have people that don't want to take training, or they can't take training, or they don't understand it, then I would personally move along and get other people in, and then I would gradually cut those people's hours and get yourself in gear. Because either you jump in the front seat with me and you drive this, or you're going to sit in the trunk and you're going to tell me like, well, this thing doesn't have any gas. Why aren't we going anywhere? Take action. Decide if you own it, then you're going to make that a requirement of your vendors or your staff, and you're going to make them do the hard work, which is to train. And that takes about 2 to 3 months minimum. It's not just understanding, because all that is a list of ingredients. What counts is the recipe, and then actually making it and going, oh, that doesn't work. It's like, exactly. You got to take some time with that. Stacy, that voice was awesome. I'm glad you like that. All right, great. All right. So you're hanging out with me awfully long. I only have one left here for you. And if you have any other questions, you can ask it right now. Joanne, I'm about to answer your question. You've got to go do something, so you'll have to watch later. Oh, I love that too. That's great, Stacy. It's not set and forget. It's a circle. Bravo. So Joanne, last one, who just had to leave to interview somebody. I'm struggling with time management of getting stock out and working with customers. Customers are first priority, but with my staff not returning and hiring again, so customer focused training, merchandising, and special requests wear me down already. I need a mantra, something to keep my brain and attention focused, grounded at times. I feel like I'm going in so many directions. I don't want to lose sight of customers being the most important. Do you have a suggestion to keep me centered? Well, the easiest one is something I have to actually use, which is a timer. And I will give myself X amount of time to do something. 10 minutes, an hour, doesn't matter. That's it. And then I have to stop and move on. That's one time management tip. But I think the other one is just to remember what's the most important things I need to do, and start off your day and then prioritize them. I use a company called Teamwork. It's online, and I set a task for myself. And I originally had it for, these are the things I have to do right now, and these are the things I'd like to do. Well, now it has kind of 4 ones. Like, I have to absolutely do this today. No kidding. I have to do this week. I have to do this month. And then there's stuff I have unsorted. Just getting all that up there just helps relieve that pressure in my mind. But your mantra, quite simply, is, how can I grow my business today? That's the mantra. When you find yourself on Facebook with an extra 5 minutes, hear that voice saying, how can I grow my business today? Probably not doing this. And then you can reprioritize it. So let's see. We got one other question here from Francisco. What are the best practices for check-in customers at stores? I think what you're saying is with PPE and that kind of stuff. I think the best one is just saying, good morning, welcome to Bob's House of Mirrors. I guess that's it. We have safe protocol. We all are wearing masks today. We encourage you to do the same. We have sanitizer. Please feel free to look around, and I'll be right back. So I think it's just an easy thing. And your own employees get bored with it, and they want to change it up and cut it down and forget and all of that. And I think the important thing to realize is that whatever training you put emphasis on and you focus on, you'll get. And if it's important to you to make sure that happens, then you'll do it. But I think so many retailers are going to struggle in the fourth quarter. And do you know why? Because they have no training program. They don't know what an exceptional experience looks like. They're just so grateful that anyone is in the door, and they're on so many other little user groups where everybody's bitching and moaning. Not bitch and buy, just bitch. It sucks to be us. Amazon is coming out with a whole new this. Oh, Walmart's doing a whole new this. Oh, Wi-Fi, and we just make ourselves miserable. And we tune in the news, and I've got some well-meaning friends, but I am so over you trying to make me panicked, either from the left or the right. I don't care. It's not going to make my business stronger. I don't want to hear it. That should be everybody's mantra. I'm done being worried about things I can't control. I get it, there's social action. I get it, there's a pandemic. I get there's economic reality. But it is we are being taught to fear life and fear risk and fear other people. And what a horrible example for us to leave for kids. I can tell you, for every retailer that goes out, there are more businesses that have filed permits in the last 6 weeks than ever before, which means people are seeing the dream and they're going to go after it. And they're hungry and they are focused. Are you really to make a difference? And I'm talking about the big brands who I can see you here, who are here with me on LinkedIn. And your C-level execs are all telling me about an app, or Neiman Marcus is coming out of bankruptcy. And you know what the CEO said? And we're going to have less people on the floor. Really? That's how you get out of bankruptcy and say, this is the way forward. The way forward is we're going to create an exceptional experience for everybody that comes in our store, who uses us online, who uses curbside, and we're going to focus on that in the next 6 days. So we're not going to get caught with our hand in our hat. Please come in and see us in December. And that should be you. Well, there's my little mini rant for you at the end. I hope that helps. I ultimately want you to leave this feeling good, because at the end of the day, it's all about what we allow in our minds. And you've been gracious to give me time in your home today. I appreciate it. If I've helped you, please go through and type in and let me know how and what you got out of it. Because ultimately, indecision is no decision. If you've watched me this long, 30 minutes, and you've taken no actions, you haven't written anything down, then you got to look inside and say, why is that? I mean, I'm sure I put on an entertaining show, but that's not about me. Sunday morning is all about you. What are you prepared to change in your life? I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. Thanks for joining me. You can find me here every Sunday at 9 a.m., provided you give me at least 5 questions on Saturday. You can find out more about me as a virtual or in-person speaker at your event, or your sales reps, or your stores, or your brand. Just go to retaildoc.com. And as always, I appreciate your support and you being here with me. Thanks so much. Bye.